Welcome everybody. Welcome on the Master Shah Tao Center Facebook and YouTube channel. It is awesome to be with you all. And we have a dear friend of Australia here with us again today, Dr. Peter Hudoba, tuning in from over in Vancouver. We're very, very blessed to have him with us. You may have seen a few months ago, we were running a Shen medicine workshop, and we had Peter on our show a couple of times then, and we had such a good time. So we had the opportunity to have Peter back, running some healing days coming up at the end of August 28 and 29. So 2 days that you have the option of attending, one or two or both. And we're going to hear more about that today. The link's in the description. So we thought, well, we'll bring Peter back on and have another chat, this time with a slightly different focus. And just for those that haven't met Dr. Peter before, just a little background on him. He was a professional neurosurgeon and research professor, top of his field over in Canada, and he was called to the spiritual journey. He was called out of that profession, and that led him to meet Master Shah and to be one of Master Shah's, if not, I think, the first worldwide representative of Master Shah, and that was 20 odd years ago, and he's still doing amazing work today. So he's the author of Shen Medicine and also of My Enlightenment Journey, which is an amazing story, little short book. So we're super blessed to have you with us today, and I know my heart and soul super excited, and obviously here with Lex as well from the center. So thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me. I love it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Alexander. And again, welcome, Dr. Peter. Dr. Peter, today we just wanted to, because I know we're connecting again with you next Thursday at the same time, and we've got two mini workshops that we've got with you at the end of the month that Alexander shared about. But I just wanted to ask a few questions specific to the workshop on the Saturday, which is called Grounded Heart. Now, what I'd like to understand first, because I know a lot of our viewers here today, whether they're, well, who knows, we have some brand new people obviously joining that I don't know of, but I know a lot of new students who are going to be joining today who are interested in being with you at the end of August. My question would be, is a lot of them are already meditating. A lot of them are already meditating, and through their personal practice, they'll be finding, degrees of peace and stillness. And I just wish you to explain what is the point of difference that you would offer in this Saturday workshop, this Grounded Heart workshop, which is focused on the emotions, balancing the emotions, for example. Thank you.
Oh, that's a very deep question. Wow, we can spend a long time on this. The meditation is practiced around the world so much, but not many people actually understand the meditation. I am not saying I understand it better than anybody else, by no means. Wow, no. I am still learning. But what I have found out is, I would give it as a similar idea like food. Like in the United States, there are millions of people who are trying to eat healthy. Yeah, there are so many books, so many diets. Anywhere you go, you see people gobbling the rabbit food. They are eating this, eating that. Vegetables. Everybody promoting right now vegetables. But has America got healthier? Statistics tells us no way. There is such a massive movement for the healthy diet, but it has no impact. People are getting sicker, not healthier. They are trying, and they think that this is it, and there are ferocious discussions. People are so into it. Our way is really way. But the results tell us different. the cancer is growing still. They haven't stopped in America. We haven't stopped epidemic of cancer. I mean, half of people in America will die from cancer. It's huge. 36 million people just counted. And this big movement of healthy diet has made what? No impact. No impact. So I'm throwing it in. The same is happening with the meditation. It's becoming very popular, and people are trying this and that. But are they really having a positive impact? That is a question. And so, what I will be sharing with you is what I have learned from my teacher. And without any doubt whatsoever, it has worked for me. Worked for so many hundreds of people I have been meeting around the world, Master Sha students. So we will be sharing with you our way of meditation, based on the principles of the ancient Taoism and Buddhism. These have been well verified over the thousands of years, these principles. And they work. So that's all. That's what I will be sharing.
I love that. I love that insight, Peter. I'm just getting a bit of feedback. I'm not sure what that. Anyway, we'll see. It should work itself out. So I love that insight that a lot of people, just like food, in some ways, there's more and more information, and more different techniques or ideas, but are people really getting the results? But even the concept of meditation, of taking that to a step of healing, actually healing through meditation. Whereas I think probably a lot of people have the concept, oh, I do meditate to try and like calm myself down throughout the day, or get a bit more peace in my life. And obviously there's varying degrees of what of how people use it. There's also something that I'm seeing a lot around sort of conscious circles in Sydney, around a lot of younger people, where people come together in these sharing circles, and they sort of call them healing or sharing circles. And the concept of these circles is that everyone just has that opportunity to express how they're feeling, and that might be emotionally expressed, or just and everyone else in that space. The concept is to hold space for that person to share their emotions or to share their thoughts and their feelings, and that this is meant to bring healing and understanding. I'm just wondering if you have any insight on that, because for me in Sydney at the moment, we're in lockdown, and this is what a lot of people are doing. They're really wanting that connection. They're wanting that connection with community and with people, and this is the way that a lot of people are looking for healing within themselves as well. So I thought maybe you'd have a perspective on that.
What comes to my mind is the family of the very successful investment banker I met about 20 years ago in San Francisco. They invited me and Master Sha to their home. They started to study with Master Sha, and they were learning his basic things. She has shared with me that she went to Mexico at some point and was totally struck by one issue. They went to a small villages, they visited several villages, and she saw this woman in a small shabby house, has 12 kids, chicken running in the living room. That level of the pig was going on in, and the poor woman, she was working from the dawn to late night and tending the children, and husband working on the field, so very poor conditions. And she said, I look at that woman, and they were all happy. They were laughing, and they were jesting, and they were singing, and I sit in my mansion and I'm miserable as I can get. And really, you would feel that there was something missing. So what was missing? And she described it so well, it's 20 years, I still feel it. That's what I found in Australia, the heart. Then your country, people still have that, which we are losing in America, that how to open heart to heart. And this is what you said, this type of circle, it's really important. That's where the success is, that we open heart to each other, we share what we experience, we share our knowledge, our skill, and together we can make it. But when we are isolated in our rich houses and we have this big Cadillac or Porsche in the driveway and golden plated taps in the bathroom, which I saw there, and it didn't make them happier. It makes them more miserable, more isolated. That's not the answer. Answer is to be one with another, a community, heart to heart. So I like that idea which you described.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you for that. So,
sorry, Alexander.
No, you go ahead.
Just listening to you share, like Dr. Peter, I'd meditated for 10 years before I did Master Shah's practices. And in that 10 years of previous practice, I felt sort of the stillness and the peace. But the whole aspect of healing through meditation was something that was quite foreign to me. And then going to Alexander's talking about these circles, I went to a few of these men's groups where men sat around and they talked about, most of the time, the emotions that would come up. Anger, for example, was something that would come up a lot. Anger is one of my emotions that I work on. It's probably more lack of patience. I find I'm quite a perfectionist, so I lack patience and there's a lot of anger. That's something I try to work with on a daily basis. But in these healing circles, I would observe these men understand their projection in their relationships. They have, for whatever reason, their self-worth and perhaps the anger they would put onto the wife. But what I don't understand at that time was, well then, how do we stop the anger? We understand the aspect of the projection of why we're getting angry and the reason for that. But it's like, what can we do? How does this aspect of my emotion of anger be addressed through the meditation? Like how, apart from just the peace and stillness, how can I remove the anger? Because I don't want to be an angry person anymore. It's something I would like to transform. Could you share a little bit on that, please?
Yes, the Master Shahis really made a very special insight, shared with us very special insights, and they often bring the different perspective than you would expect. Looking at the issues from the different end, not working on what is manifesting, but something else, unexpected. So I would give you what you described. I would give you the suggestions there. So one of his key principles is the forgiveness brings the peace. Forgiveness brings the peace. So what does forgive means? Just grammatically analyze that sentence, then you see how smart our ancestors were. Forgive. It is like giving away something before it happened. For and give. So forgiveness is actually giving something away, something before it manifests. And we checked that word once in my lecture. I think I did that in Europe. In different languages, it has the same meaning. In my language, it is like literally, let it go, let it go. That's let it go, you put together, it is a word forgive. Totally amazing. And different languages in Europe, they would have exactly the same meaning. So people are trying to sit and meditate. I need to be peaceful, I need to be peaceful, I need to be peaceful. the master Sha system is you need to forgive, then you will be peaceful. So rather than sitting and trying to have a peaceful mind, we forgive to those who insult us. And suddenly peace happens in your heart before you know it. So he is actually totally amazing, the way how he brings us to the deep meditation state, but through the different door. Not working on the result, but getting there without even knowing. And it just happens, and you are there, and wow, this was amazing.
Yeah, you're really touching on something quite incredible here, because when you spoke initially about food and quality of food and this aspect of healing, I feel there are a lot of people who are, could be meditating out there and not really making the most of the opportunity and this aspect to forgive. And for me, I didn't really understand, to be honest. Raised Catholic, I really couldn't explain what forgiveness was, to be honest, on a very, very superficial level. But this deeper understanding of it and what it means to healing, like you're just bringing in such significant aspects here, which is, very, very, very exciting. Very exciting. Peter,
may I go there a little deeper?
Please, please.
I tell you my personal experience of this. My father, we were a very rich family last century, many generations. Yeah, don't need to go to details. But when the Red Flood came and political system changed, then the Iron Curtain came on, our family was brutalized. The properties were confiscated, and grandpa and my father family, they were treated extremely cruelly. My father never forgave. Was bitter man. And then 1993, the political system eventually collapsed, the communism fell apart. But one night in 94, they let known in the news that these guys are trying to stage a coup to come back to power by force. They found the stashed ammunition and the machine guns. My father went into total rage, pounding the fist on the table, and died 5 hours later from massive heart attack. So that anger, he just could not forgive his whole life what happened. And it killed him. He had 4 heart attacks, and now I am older than he was. I outlived him. I am healthy. I forgave. I was treated not very kindly. I forgave it. I gave it away from my heart. And I achieved peace. And that's the ultimate healing. I don't have 4 heart attacks. I never had a heart attack. In my age, my father was already not living. That's healing. Very deep healings through meditation.
Fascinating. Alexander, Beautiful. Did you have a question you wanted to ask?
Oh, I'm just reflecting. It's so beautiful to hear the sharing. Having heard the wisdom of forgiveness before, but just on how many levels it touches these stories and just this simple concept of forgiveness bringing healing. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that can relate with having a rift with someone in the family and then just letting it go because the love is bigger than the issue. But to hear how it, with the story with your father, how it actually affects the physical body, let alone beyond that. But then also harping back to some of the Shen medicine wisdom that you brought to us earlier in the year and understanding healing from the soul first and what that means to heal before the issues even arise. I know sometimes, you might pick up on something in relationships. I know this personally, like having a sensitivity, like, oh, there's something a bit funny there, but I really don't want that to happen. I don't want to fight with that person and to know that you can actually bring that peace and that stillness in the heart. It's so empowering to think we can take charge of our lives and our journeys in that way. So I'm just kind of letting it all sink in.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I did
want to ask Peter, what can people expect from this workshop? What, like, you know, if they haven't attended anything with the center before, or a retreat with you before, what can people expect over these, you know, either 1 or 2 days if they choose to do that?
We will share with you the principles we learned from our teacher, from Dr. and Master Shah. They are simple. These principles are simple, effective. Our research, which we do, showed that it really works. And you can incorporate those principles, the techniques, actually to whatever you already are doing. We don't expect anyone to convert to our system. You need to follow what we do. We would be happy just to show you what we do it, how we do it, and then take it home. I've seen on my workshops through the years, people from all sorts of walks of life, different religions, different practices, and they could incorporate what we teach into what they already are doing. So when you are a Buddhist, you know, you sit down and meditate, but you can make your meditation deeper, better, richer with techniques which we teach. You don't need to stop to be Buddhist. You can be better Buddhist. Or if you are Christians, the same thing. We can make your prayer go deeper, be more enriching, more fulfilling to feel that connection, and so forth. And those who have some health challenges, we can show you that it is possible through the art of meditation, through the very simple techniques, to have a better health. We can't promise, we never promise anything, and we always advise people to follow conventional medicine and what we teach together. We don't replace any medical treatment, but it can make it better. You know, I'm a physician, I do both. I do conventional medicine and I heal myself when I'm ill, which hasn't happened for many years now. So I heal myself with practices which I use from Master Shah. Now I am using them in prevention, preventatively, not to get sick.
Thank you, Peter. Peter, I'd love us to do a short practice, but I've just got one little question. It's a big question, but you're doing really well at answering these really big questions in such a concise way, because I'm already feeling very fulfilled with the potency of everything you shared today. There's been so many powerful sharings and teachings and wisdom. But just before we do a practice, just one final question I wanted to ask you was, the workshop is called Grounded Heart. Could you, in a minute, explain to us what does this mean and its relevance?
Yes. So we are having lots of challenges right now around the world. In British Columbia, where I live, there are at the moment more than 300 bushfires. It's a huge area already burned down, and cities evacuated. Beautiful town already burned completely, nothing left. So what you experienced last year, we are going through. And for 1.5 years, we've been all challenged by the COVID around the world, everywhere, people are affected, families affected, income, social, connection. We are just now having a guest. Our son came to see us from Europe. We haven't seen him almost 2 years. So that's hard for everybody right now. Floods in Germany and, oh man, so many other things. So it is a lot. And we can use the techniques which I will be sharing, not only for healing physical issues, but right now we need to know how to ground, how to achieve the stability in our heart. So we are not frightened of the future, we are not upset with current situation. we don't do anything which is not beneficial to us, to our situation. So when we know how to calm down, when we know how to regain our footing, then we can deal with the challenges much more effectively. And that's one of the main purposes of this workshop.
Wonderful, wonderful. Wonderful, so lovely to end on that sharing. Peter, would you be able to give us a small taster in our remaining time, a short practice? I know the practice is the key aspect. The wisdom is absolutely always wonderful with you, Peter, but then the practice takes it to a whole nother level. So I'd love to experience that, please.
Well, we'll practice what I experienced in Melbourne many years ago. I think it was 2011 or 10. I came to city and we had the first workshop, and suddenly a little girl came, she was about 5, came to me, gave me a hug and said, "Oh, I love you." That made my day right away. And so that's exactly the power of love. So put your left palm, like you can just take your left palm, put it on your lower abdomen just below belly button. Put your right palm in the middle of the chest. And look inside. Look inside. Visualize either golden ball or imagine there is a beautiful shining red golden heart. I actually see it. It's a beautiful red heart in the middle of the chest, shining the golden light around. Stay with that image and receive from my heart. I love you. 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 How?
Wonderful. So short. It was. As I was visualizing what you were sharing there, Dr. Peter, then when you started to sing, it was like it felt like a wave was going over my heart and around, over my heart. Every time you sung, it just went over the heart. But then it was like my heart was responding to the love. That's what I found very interesting. It was a very beautiful sensation. It just felt like things were being cleaned. But what I found interesting, it was like it's responding to the words of love. And yeah, that was a very, very beautiful experience. Thank you so much.
So beautiful. I just had tingles going around my whole body. And I actually feel much more grounded now. Like I can so my nervous system is more relaxed. I can actually like connect in with my body a bit more as well.
Beautiful.
What a powerful little 1 minute. So it's a 1 minute practice, 1 minute blessing from Peter. So everyone has the opportunity to be with Peter for either 1 or 2 days coming up at the end of the month, August 28th and 29th, and the link is in the description. So feel free to check that out. We're actually going to be meeting again next Thursday. We're going to have the opportunity again to have another chat with Peter, and we're going to be going a little bit deeper and into some of the wisdom. We've spoke mostly today about the Saturday healing day, which is the grounded heart. The Sunday is supercharge your vitality, and you have the opportunity to sign up for one of the 2 days, or you can get both as a very generous package, and they actually come with some special Tao light blessings as well. So we're going to talk probably a bit more about what that means next week for those that don't understand that. But we're also going to dive a little bit into Master Peter's Pengzu lineage, which is really, really exciting. So Master Sha is, I believe, the 373rd lineage holder of Pengzu, and Peter is the 374th. And for those who don't know who Pengzu is, he was Lao Tzu's teacher. So Lao Tzu, you may be familiar with, is the author of the Tao Te Ching. And the Sunday session's all about supercharge your vitality. And Pengzu's name means long life star, and he's said to have lived to be 880. So if anyone knows anything about stamina, I'm sure it was Pengzu. And you said something, I think you shared with us, Peter, that Pengzu had a few wives as well.
22 or 27, 22 or 27.
27 wives.
They had a marriage and then they died, and he carried on and had married again and just keep going.
Right. So we had them sort of one after each other.
Yeah, one after.
There you go. There you go. If you can sustain that many marriages, you must be doing something.
Brave man.
I think there'll be a lot to learn about what it really means to supercharge one's vitality in that Sunday workshop. Wonderful.
So that's really
Wonderful.
exciting. So join us next week at the same time, 1 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard, so that's Sydney time, next Thursday. And we look forward to being with you then again, Peter. And of course, everyone, you can click through on the links in the description and find out more, or we'll see you next week at 1 p.m. So thank you so much for everyone who's joined. Thank you so much, Peter and Lex. It's been such a pleasure again.
Thank you, both of you. That was awesome.
We'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.